movie lovers, welcome to another episode of E-Money's Reviews. On today's show, we've got a new action thriller out in theaters right now, and then a little later in the show, we say goodbye to one of the great masters of horror. And then after that, E-Money's Movie-isms. But first out in theaters right now is the action thriller No Escape. In this film, a family who has just moved to their new foreign home gets caught up in the middle of a coup. And as anarchy erupts, foreigners are being executed on sight. Now this movie wastes very little time before the shit hits the fan. I mean, they keep things calm just long enough to introduce you to the characters, let you know what their situation is, and then all hell breaks loose.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Right on, Burgundy. As the family struggles to get to safety, they find out just what they're willing to do to survive. No Escape has no lack of action in it. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and that is why I'm giving it 3 popcorns out of 4. And in sadder news, this week we lost one of the original masters of horror, Wes Craven, at the age of 76. The name Wes Craven has become synonymous with the horror genre by writing and directing such films as The Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, Scream, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happen.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
What's the coroner got to say? He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
No!
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mr. Craven, on behalf of horror fans everywhere, you will be missed. And speaking of horror, that brings me to this week's E-Money's Movie-ism, which is the false alarm. And what a false alarm is when a character is walking down a hallway or something and you hear the music building up the suspense and you're supposed to think that the killer or the monster is going to jump out at them, but then when the music reaches the crescendo, it turns out to be nothing, or maybe a pet jumps out at them or a friend screwing around.
It's just me.
What are you doing here?
Sorry, don't hate me. Run.
Hey, guys, what are you gonna do? You gonna drive me crazy? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to drive me crazy?
No, Dad. We just want to drive. But the man won't let us.
How can I make you guys understand you cannot live your life surfing? You need something to fall back on.
Way ahead of you, Dad. That's why we skateboard.
What was that?
Look at that dumb cat knocking something over.
We have a cat?
I'd put down that knife if I were you.
Seriously, if you don't want chives, I won't put them in.
And oftentimes, immediately after the false alarm is when the actual danger jumps out at them. Personal opinion, movie viewers have come to expect the false alarm so much that if filmmakers went back to where the first buildup is the actual danger, people wouldn't expect that. Now guys, you might have noticed that this week's episode is a bit shorter than my usual length. Well, there's a good reason for that. In 2 weeks on September 16th, I have a very special episode planned, so a lot of my editing time is being devoted to that episode. So that's why this week's and probably next week's episode is going to be a little on the short side. But it's going to be well worth it, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you next time on EMoney's Reviews.